So in this video, I'm going to talk about chapter 6, and it's the impact of humans in the ecosystem. I will appreciate your attention and have a good night. So in this video, I'm going to talk about chapter 6, humans in the biosphere. So in 6.1, we're going to talk about the damage that humans do, the effect of human activity. Agriculture is one of the most important inventions in the human history, but it's one of the harmfulest. It can impact natural resources including fresh water and fertile soil. Then we got development, that is, that many people want to live in the cities with the fabrics. These cities produce a lot of waste that harms the ecosystem and the world. So the next is industrial growth. Today, industry is a very important area in the human life, but it's mostly harms because it just don't pollute the soil, but it pollutes the air and the water with a lot of the chemicals that they throw off to the world, and this affects a lot to the world. Another topic in this chapter is sustainable development. Sustainable development provides for human needs while preserving the ecosystem that produce natural resources, and it's a very important topic in this chapter. There's many ways that we can use sustainable development, and that we can use goods and services in it. We got some ecosystem goods and services like water and air. Some of them are the following. We got renewable resources that can be produced or replaced by a healthy ecosystem. And we got non-renewable resources that they cannot be replaced, so they are limited. So with this, we end chapter 6.1. Let's get to the next chapter. So in 6.2, we're going to talk about using resources wisely. There's many resources that we can use. We got soil resources, which healthy soil supports both agriculture and forestry that are very important. But the massive uses of soil tends to get soil erosion that is very harmful. Soil erosion can cause desertification or deforestation, and are big problems in our world. Then we got freshwater resources that are very important to the human activities and human body. But there's some big problem that is water pollution, and it's very harmful to us because it not only affects humans but affects everything. Pollution came from fabrics and wastes, and then contaminates the water, and it's not even useful anymore. Sewage is a very important water resource because it throws off all our wastes. Human waste just doesn't disappear like that. It uses sewage, and it's very important to us. So now I'm going to talk about atmospheric resources and the pollutants. First, we got smog. Smog is a brown haze formed by chemical reactions among pollutants released into the air, and it's very harmful to us to breathe it. Then we got acid rain. Acid rain is a harmful combination of acids and water in the rain cycle. Then we got the greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases get trapped and make the heat get trapped in the air, so it's get the climate to get up. Now I'm gonna go talk about biodiversity, the other chapter, chapter 6.3. Biodiversity is important because it's a total of all the nickel-based variation in all organisms in the biosphere. So we got three types of biodiversity: ecosystem diversity, species diversity, genetic diversity. These are pretty important to us because it defines biodiversity itself. Biodiversity benefits to society include contributions to medicine and agriculture, and the provision of ecosystem goods and services. Here we got biodiversity and medicine, that wild species get a lot contributed in this type of biodiversity. So biodiversity and agriculture. Genetic diversity is very important in here. Most crop plants have wild relatives, like the potatoes. These wild plants may carry genes we can use. Then we got biodiversity and ecosystem services. The number and variety of species in an ecosystem can influence that ecosystem stability, productivity, and value to humans. Another topic of this chapter is threats to biodiversity. We're gonna talk about it. First, we got altered habitats, when natural habitats are eliminated for agriculture or for urban development. Then we got hunting. Hunting, it's the extermination of a species, making them to disappear forever to the world, and we cannot use them again. Then we got introduced species. Recall that organisms introduced to new habitats can become invasive and threaten biodiversity. Then we got pollution. This destroys the biodiversity and makes a lot of changes in it. Climate change is another factor because organisms need to adapt to this new climate and it's very harmful for them. Another topic we're gonna see is how conserving biodiversity and how do we preserve it. Some ways are protecting individual species that are very important for the ecosystem. Preserving habitats and ecosystems are the main thrust of global conservation efforts today, because they are very important to us. Also, we need to consider local interests, so we need to protect them a lot, and stopping fabrics. So now we're going to talk about the last chapter, 6.4, Meeting Ecological Challenge. We got the ecological footprint. An ecological footprint describes the total area of functional land and water ecosystems needed both to provide the resources an individual or population uses and to resolve and make harms the waste that individual or pollution generates. So we have to have footprint limitations because nowadays we need 1.5 worlds to live how we live today. That's a lot. And we need another thing. We need to compare our footprints. According to one dataset, the average American has an ecological footprint over 4 times larger than the global average. So this is where ecology takes action. How can ecology guide us towards a sustainable future? The answer is simple. 1. By recognizing a problem in the environment. 2. Researching that problem to determine its causes. And then 3. Using scientific understanding to change our behavior, we can have a positive impact on the global environment.